Alright, so as promised, I'll be starting the Recettear series today. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and play through the game and pay down the entire debt within one playthrough. Usually when you're playing through the game, you're not necessarily going to be able to play and beat the entire game within one playthrough. But that's okay, because when you do fail the debt, you'll keep everything in your inventory, every items you have, your shop level, your shop merchant level, and your adventurer individual levels. So what you do if you realize you can't pay down the debt, go ahead, buy everything you buy all the expensive items you possibly can, and stock up for when you have to do that next run through. But I'm just going through the starting sequences here for the first day when you're figuring out, oh hey, I have to run an item shop and pay off this huge debt. Alright, so here we go. Start at the shop, day 1. Start with 1,000 picks. The actual debt that you have to pay off is pretty extensive. Again, it goes up as you go along. But so you start paying off low and you end up having to pay off high. Let's get through the rest of these cutscenes here. On. So yeah, here we go. Trying to figure out what to have to sell, and we're going to have to stock at the shop. So. And another thing I'm going to do here, because since I'm going to be trying to play the game in one run through, instead of fail the paying off the debt at any route, I'm going to try and run through the entire game in one go, not fail it, do it in the first loop, which normally, if you're playing the game casually, I would say you take at least the first loop. You're probably not going to be able to pay off the complete debt, but there are specific things that I'm going to do in order to make sure I try be able to pay off that debt the first run through. And some of those things are, I'm only going to use the first adventurer, which is Louis, and I'm going to avoid as many cutscenes as I possibly can that aren't integral to unlocking another dungeon. I'm not necessarily going to worry about unlocking all the other adventurers in this run through. So you are in the first cutscene, figuring out, oh hey, this is the guild master. He runs one of the main shops. You can also do fusion item, where you have materials that you gather, other items that you would collect when you're doing your dungeon runs, and craft them into other better usable items, better equipment. He mainly sells armor, weapons, that kind of stuff. Whereas the other market will sell your other items, like the item accessories, like your necklaces, your charms, your rings, and other additional items like books. So he also has talk things with all these different, going through, hey, this is what you do. This is basic help of, hey, this is how the game works. I'm not going to worry about that because I already know all of it. But I have to go through, and this is part of the first day. You're going to buy a few items to stock up. Normally, if you're on a second playthrough, you won't go through this first day, because you'll already have items from your previous run-throughs. so I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want to do here. And that should be good. And walnut bread. Hey. There's a lot of good references in this game to other things. Might be Adam's reference. Or you look it up yourself. So again, a lot of the first day that you're going to see is just a basic run through of how to play the game. Again, you will not see the day one, because when you actually, if you have to start over whenever you do New Game Plus off of a completed file, you're going to start over technically at day 2. So you end up skipping all this stuff. Again, they're just going through the basics of the game. The counter here in front of the window, that is your spotlight counter, which basically attracts more people to, hey, these are the main items that we're trying to sell. What it also does is it adjusts your shop ambience level. Your shop ambience is affected by your walls, your tables, your carpet, your flooring, all that kind of stuff, as well as the items in your showcase slots. What that does is it affects how your shop feels, the ambient feel of it, which will affect who comes into your shop. Certain customers or NPCs that would come and buy into your shop are prefer different ambient levels than others. And I'll get into that a little bit more as we go into the game. So put these down here. And one of the things I'm also going to do that you normally won't see either, I'm going to be doing specific runs with my dungeons and staying a lot longer than you normally see. Because what I'm going to want to do is end up leveling my adventurer fairly early so I can go through those higher level dungeons. Because the items you get from the first couple dungeons aren't that great. They're good startup items. But you want, if you really want to get that money flowing, you want to start unlocking the higher level dungeons and getting to those areas where you can get better items to sell for more. So again, this is a tutorial day where you'll go through, you'll learn most of the processes of how to play the game, the basics of actually running the shop. Day 2 is where you start getting into the dungeons. You will not be able to go through and start the dungeon the first day, because they're basically just teaching you how to do it. So right now we're learning how to, the tier is running you through how to buy and sell items. First part is buying. Just gonna find the items you want. We come over to the counter. Hey, I want this. So hey, they want that item. There's your base price. And all she went through there is how to change your button configuration. Don't worry about that right now. You can change it if you want, but it's not that important to the game. So again, we're just going through the basics right now. I would skip this if I could, but it's nice to have through, since we're playing this all the way through, like have you played it for the first time. Basics of running a store, all that kind of stuff. And she said 30% over. That only typically works with a couple different NPCs. Most will prefer to buy around the 120 level. So while you would like to sell your items at a high level, one of the things that you'll see with your merchant level is as you sell a combo, so as long as you're selling it the first time at a price that the customer will accept, you get what's called a just combo, whereas you're selling an item for the just price, where the price that is acceptable and the customer will buy right away without having to haggle. And as long as they don't haggle with you, you'll get an additional stacking just bonus that's going to give you more experience per transaction, which allows you to level up your merchant level faster. And as you level up your merchant level, you'll get access to getting more items through your dungeon run, be able to carry more items back, as well as opening up a bigger shop. Right, so here we go, starting up, opening the shop for the first day. The customer, only one, wants to buy the walnut bread. Yep. And it's just that simple. Yay. So there's your basic starting up day. That's going to help you go through and understand how to do the game. I'm gonna be leaving these events instead of just skipping them through, just to give you the full effect of how the game plays. You can skip them if you want. Some of them are important though, and you might want to actually go through all of them. But there's like individual cutscenes that you'll see when you visit certain areas with the regular townsfolk. Some of those aren't really important at all, so you can skip them. But through this playthrough, I'm going to be trying to avoid as much of those as possible, since I want to maximize my time either running the dungeons and collecting the items, or staying in my shop and selling everything. So here's the basic background information that it's going to give you of why you're doing what you do. Basis is your dad ran off, but he has a huge debt, so here comes and there's Tear. Yeah, here we go, just going through all the different things. Hey, I'm from finance. You have a huge debt! You need to open a shop. And your small amount of time is actually 36 days. At the 36th day, you have your final payment, which ends up being 800,000 picks. There it is! Convert the house into an item store and start selling items. And that's how it all starts. Yes. Okay. So that's the story behind the basis of Recettear. Yes. There's a lot of puns in this game. So if you miss pounds from Recettear, it becomes Recettear.
私の日常をちょっぴり刺激的なものにしてくれた。
So that's the basis of the first day. That's going to take you through just the basics of the game and everything. So there's that. We'll get into a little bit more of the dungeon running on the second day, where you start running through the dungeons. And then once we get into a little bit more later in the first week of what you're doing, then we'll get into actually how the game works. Because right now this is your basic in-game tutorial that most games are gonna have. Alright, so there we go. There's the first day. And just start this opening cutscene for day 2 real quick. This cutscene you will see every single time when you do a new playthrough, whether a new game plus or if you fail the dead and have to start over. So this is the start of things you will see every single time. That first day again you will only see through the first playthrough of a new game. The first part of the first loop. And this is where you'll start every single time if you fail. And again, if you fail on your debt, you will keep all your items in your inventory, all your merchant levels, all your individual adventure levels. However, you will revert your shop to the smallest shop possible, which is this one right here, and you will lose you'll reset back to your starting amount, base amount of picks. So if you have to restart over, buy as much as you possibly can right before the debt has to be collected, and you'll start with the full inventory items, and you can go through that way. So that's the first day, and I will start with the second day later on. See ya!